Alexander Dane, Dr. Lazarus, welcome to Film Scots on the Internet.
Thank you.
Have you spent any time on the Internet?
I'm so computer illiterate, you have no idea. It's a subject of some shame, and it's something I have to rectify. I look at them and haven't a clue.
Now, let me ask you about the head. That's an amazing, prop that Dr. Lazarus wears. How much did you have to do with that head?
A bit, yeah, because I asked if I could come over early and go out and work with Stan Winston and Shane and the others in the design of it, because it was going to be so literally connected to me. And I wanted to be able to look at my own head from the side and the back, and so, we made a plastic cast, and strange experience, actually, seeing yourself from all sides, an absolute copy, but great, because it meant that I could say certain things that helped to make it less unbearable than it might have been.
Now, when you put that head on, did you become a different character? I mean, Sigourney Weaver said she puts the blonde wig on and the big kind of bustier. She kind of felt a little bit different. Did you take on any feelings of this character when you put that on?
Well, I could feel his loathing of
there you go.
The whole thing. Right, you knew what that was going to be about. I mean, of course, for me, I don't need to just feel that, because I'm also, the other part of your brain is having to function as an actor, so you're basically trying not to get too hot and be able to work all day long. But you also know that you can't take it off. It's not moving until the end of the day.
Now, how much background did you give this character? I mean, because there's such a backstory here with the actors and everything. Did you really go back and try to, come up with his, past history and past work and where this guy was?
Well, he was originally written in the original script as an actor who had just played Richard III at the Royal National Theatre, and he was actually knighted in the original script. He was Sir Alexander Dane, and I had to ask them to change that, because it's just not possible that one of the English knights of the theatre would be out of work for 12 years.
Right.
So once we got rid of that, then I said, well, now I think the National Theatre should go. So we don't know where he played Richard III. It certainly wasn't at the National Theatre. Just somewhere.
Maybe a dinner theater, perhaps.
Well, we don't have those, but we have repertory theatres. I think it was kind of some repertory theatre he played it in.
Is there any idea of art imitating life here? I mean, have people ever come up to you and said, do Hans Gruber for me? Or, kind of come up to you and pigeonhole you with certain characters that you've played?
Well, people do come up and say something, and that's very kind of them. Whichever movie it is, and sometimes it's very surprising which one they come up and say means a lot to them. And that's the name of the game. You hope you do things that affect people, and in this case, I hope we're involved in something that makes everybody have an incredibly funny hour and a half. So it's not that I would never do any lines from anything, because that's like being a performing dog. Do your tricks. No, I wouldn't do that, but it's always nice when people say, oh, I saw Sense and Sensibility, or I love Truly, Madly, Deeply, or whatever.
But you can see this movie gaining, somewhat of a following like that. Maybe life imitating art, imitating life.
I won't be saying Grabthar's thing, however.
Did you get sick of that line?
Well, it's good to feel sick of that line, because
that's the character.
That's him.
That's loathing. And let me ask you a final question about one of your past films, and that is Die Hard, because I consider Hans Gruber to be the ultimate villain in any film ever. And we see a lot of movies coming out, and everything is kind of based upon that character. Does that character hold a special place in your body of work?
That film does, because I'd never made a film before. So, the reason I'm sitting here now talking to you is a very direct line back. And And I suppose my ignorance at the time and innocence was something that you hang on to. You know, it's a good lesson to learn that you need that innocence. You can't go into films knowing everything, or even thinking you do, or wanting to. You've got to hang on to something, a clean slate. And so anything I did in that film is what I try to do in everything, really. And that is just tell the story.
Well, you did a fine job of it here.
Thank you.
Congratulations on
Thanks a lot.
Galaxy Quest. Look forward to it.